Everybody, it's Sophie and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. Today we're reviewing a full moon movie, but it says it's an MGM and then Empire Productions, and Marco said the person who owns Full Moon had also owned Empire Productions. So, there's nothing else. So, if you see that, because that confused me, and I had to ask Marco if this was the right movie, because there are two movies called Doll. So, and they look different on when you click on the movie, and it's before it begins, it shows like a picture of some of the actors
to me
in it, and
I thought that the other Dolls movie, it looked like a really, really cheap. And so we talked about this yesterday, how Charles Band got really upset at that movie. And honestly, looking at it now, it kind of does look like it could be like a reboot or something, like a really cheap reboot of the original Dolls movie. He's like, this poster looks so similar. They're ripping it off. And, Full Moon, like the idea for this movie was apparently... Charles Band said, I want a killer doll movie now. And, that's obviously, that was because of Child's Play. It was popular. And, they even did, I would never take any of the stuff seriously about ripping stuff off, because there's a movie called Laser Blast, which I still have as, the worst one of Full Moon. And in that movie, they're so... sure that they had a great movie, that there's a scene where there's a billboard for the good Star Wars that wasn't Disney, and the main character shoots the billboard and blows it up, as if they're saying, ooh, Star Wars sucks, Laser Blast is way better. And so, but this movie, it was also a fan request. A fan said last year, I think, to watch the movie, and I said, well, I'll make that a Full Moon movie instead. Safi, what do you have to say about dolls? Do you have anything to say? I'm going to go get a doll.
A doll.
Move your hand. This is sensitive equipment.
Anyway, Mark was talking about a movie about dolls. Well, I haven't seen it. I don't think he has either. But I think that Annabelle movie is a movie about a doll. And there have been multiple movies, but that was made much later than this. This was made in 1987. So, there's an older couple in it. They own this house, and then there's a stepfather and or stepmother and a father, and he has a little girl. And she's 6 to 8 years old. I don't know what Marco is doing. He got this big doll at the bins. I don't really... I'm sorry, I'm coughing. I don't really sell dolls. I sell plushies, but I don't sell a lot of dolls.
See, we have Kipper and Dracula. Now, let's ask Kipper... because this is really all that matters. Who cares what mere humans think about dolls? Let's ask the dolls. Kipper, what do you think about dolls?
Oh, mate, I love them all.
Shut up! You're not a doll. What does Dracula say about dolls?
I want to suck their blood.
Yeah,
except they don't have any.
He's got a little mold on him. And I got this doll from Goodwill.
Ben's,
right? No, it was Goodwill.
Oh.
It was out in the middle of the aisle, and I thought that means I should get it. Her name is Christine.
I think I'd have to put that, if I sold that, I'd have to do it on Facebook Marketplace.
This is a doll by Pauline.
Huge.
Let's see what she looks like. Oh, she's blonde.
Let's see. Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, like, this is what you call a doll. Now, Pauline, what do you think about Dolls, the movie?
I like it. It's the bomb.
Hey, Christine, what do you think about patriarchy?
I don't even know what that means.
Really? And so this is a doll that we have, and yeah, this is a doll.
It's a Christmas doll, I think.
Beat that.
It has Christmas colors.
I got like a green and red hair ribbon, and a green and red dress with roses, red slippers with red.
They look like velvet slippers with gold trim.
There's red roses or red things, red and green.
Bows.
So we just had to, say what do dolls think of dolls, because that's really all that's important.
Let me feel the face. What is that? Hard plastic, maybe? Yeah.
I think it's hard plastic. She's a doll. She might be possessed by the devil.
At least she's protected from the mold.
She's huge. It's a huge doll.
I'd have to look up Pauline dolls.
I think she's like...
It's kind of like... It looks like an American Girl doll.
She's like $200.
That's what she would sell for originally. This was at a thrift shop, and I don't know what we paid. It probably would be usually for the most expensive type of, like a plushie or a doll, it's $14, or anything else. It's like, except for clothing, would be $14.99. So, do you remember how much it cost to still? Does it still have the sticker?
I forgot.
I would think $14.99. I didn't want to get it because, like I said, I don't really like selling dolls. One day we were at the bins. You know what the bins, Goodwill outlet bins. Somebody had like a really nice doll collection. And it had been dropped off at the bins, and there was about 25 beautifully dressed dolls that were brand new, not a mark on them, in the bins. And the bins is like trash. It's like the last step before going to the landfill.
Let's talk about the movie.
All right. Well, now that you're back.
Well, I wanted them to talk about it, and they did.
Okay. Well, like I said, there's two older people. They're a couple. They own this house. Then you have a younger, middle-aged couple, a stepmother and a father who has their daughter with them for the summer. That's their custody agreement, I guess. And they're kind of mean and abusive, but not too bad. But he threatened to hit her. And the stepmother...
well, that's pretty abusive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't hit her or anything, but they threatened. And then they got worse down the... I think she has a special gift. And so she talks about, like, ghosts and fairies and elves, and they don't like it. And the father gets mad, and he wants her to stop.
She's got the shining.
And then later on in the show, it's a house where right in front of it is a place where people get stuck, and I think that's a purposeful thing, so they can get people to come to the house. And it had been raining; it was storming, so they went in. I think they got stuck, and so they wanted to get shelter.
It's a typical horror story where there's strangers who get stuck. Their car isn't working, and so they have to stay at this old house for the night. A typical story, and they go in the house.
And instead of Dracula or something like that, there's...
I was just talking about that, and you were just like, and instead of that, there's that. Like, well, I don't know what that means. Like, oh, God, Sophie, you suck.
Okay, go ahead.
There's an old couple, and they own a lot of dolls, and they seem to be really nice. And they let them stay for the night, of course. And also, there's this guy named Ralph, and he brings these two British girls, which was pretty hilarious and out of nowhere. And he comes in the house, and then they get to stay the night. And so it's a classic horror movie. Classic. In my opinion, it would be, we haven't ever done a top horror movies to watch on Halloween video. But this would be one of them, in my opinion. It's a perfect horror movie to watch on Halloween.
Yeah, there's, it's not horrible violence, but there's violence a little bit, and then there's dolls, because the man is a doll maker. And so they have a house filled with dolls. And there's something special about them, too. At least some of them.
They're all alive.
Right.
And then the one thing, though, that you can't really come up with is that it seems like a lot of them are people who were at the house who got turned into dolls. But the question is, like, are all the dolls there people?
No, he says he's a doll maker. So
that doesn't matter. He could just be fucking around. Like, all that stuff could just be to repair those people dolls. So
it's hard to say, because really, by the end of the movie, because of what he said, I guess you would have to question that, whether he really is a doll maker, because he does lie to the little girl, and it's not a bad lie. In other words, he's not trying to hurt her or be negative. Well, I
was convinced that he was going to turn them into dolls at the end.
Oh, I didn't think that at all.
That they just seem so like...
He said, at the end of the movie, he says, we have a lot of people stop by here all the time. And some people are good people. And they I don't know what he said that's so good about them, but there's something that's good about them. But then there's a lot of them that aren't good, and they turn into dolls. And so, I don't know if you want to say or not, but some of the people that we just mentioned got turned into dolls.
Most of the people, except for Ralph and the little girl.
And Ralph reminds us of...
Yeah, Ralph is literally fucking Sean Astin. Like, the whole movie, I was like, that is Sean Astin. He's gotta be.
I know, and I looked it up. No. But he was like his twin.
It was very creepy.
And he was very... he's just like him. He was affable. He had his, build. He had his hair... And the little girl was really good. She was young. I don't know if she was 6 or 7 or 8.
I really like Sean Astin in this movie. I really like Sean Astin in Dolls.
Yeah.
He was the best one. And I would have said this is not a good movie if he died. If his character died, I would have said, you know what, this movie it started off really good, but then he died, and so it sucked. But he luckily he survived, and so
the little girl stood up for him.
Yeah.
And she said, "He's my friend. Don't hurt him," because he got mad, and he started kicking the dolls around. He wanted to go. He didn't like what was happening, and he wanted to go, and he started kicking and throwing him and being really abusive, and they started to attack him. And she said, no, he's my friend. He's just didn't know what was going on. He didn't know or something, and don't hurt him. And so they had they stopped, and they had this conference, and they're trying to decide whether he really is a good person. Well, they decided that was
a funny little scene.
That was funny. These little dolls, and they're standing, and they're whispering to each other. And they decide that he's okay. And so the little girl and he out of all those people we mentioned, they're okay. They're saved. And they get to leave the next day, I guess. Wasn't that just within 24 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the movie was actually scary. It was actually creepy. It was very good at being a horror movie. It didn't feel like a full moon movie where they're just having fun being bad. It felt like this could actually be like a classic movie up there with the Halloween and all those others. Nightmare on Elm Street, Sleepaway Camp, Dolls. Because, most of the movie, too, it's like, there's not much to say in terms of plot. It's just the strangers roaming the house and then the dolls attack them. But it's such a good movie. It's such a well-made movie, and the characters are all really good. Even the ones who get, quote-unquote, killed, they're all really good. This movie is it's near flawless, in my opinion. I would just say that, we easily kind of put this above Arcade, but I don't know, Arcade was such a surprise.
In what way?
Well, it's like I expected that movie to just be cheesy, bad, full moon movie, and maybe it wouldn't be very good, but it was actually really good. And it was a solid movie. And this movie, I kind of knew it was going to be good because it looked better. I mean, the poster is iconic. That poster with the eyeballs out of the doll, that's an iconic horror movie poster. But Arcade is just it has a cheesy title too, the movie Arcade is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was. But I guess it's just the fact that this is overall a great horror movie, whereas Arcade, I think, is only great as a full moon movie. If you put it up there with just regular movies like Fright Night and other movies, it wouldn't stand up there with them, whereas I think Dolls could.
Yeah.
Safi?
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm just tired today.
Why?
But I really liked it a lot. I haven't seen any trailer. I haven't seen any poster. The only thing
you did. You clicked on it to watch the fucking movie.
Yeah, I didn't pay any attention to it.
That doesn't matter. You saw it.
Yeah, but it didn't. I just
remember that Leave It to Beaver episode where they're like, "Did you guys see Pinocchio?" And they're like, "Yeah, we saw it." As then they saw the poster. That was funny.
Well, I don't know. I can't say much about the poster, but the dolls were they look like old-fashioned dolls. They look like they had ceramic faces, and some of them, and they were all kinds of dolls. And they also had wooden dolls. There's this one scene where they're soldiers. They're wooden soldiers. And they're all painted, their uniforms are red and white and black, I guess. And they have these little guns. These little, they look like pea shooters, but they're all made of wood. But they come alive and they become real long guns or something like that. I mean, I don't know a lot about guns, but they're long. They're not little pistols. And they shoot at one of those girls.
The one thing I was disappointed with was the fact that Teddy was my favorite doll, actually, and he's gotten rid of at the beginning of the movie, and I thought, it would have been really cool if the dolls went out in the rain and they rescued Teddy, and then they made him come alive. And then he got to help kill the parents because, Teddy, the stepmother, she threw the Teddy away and
she threw him in the bushes at the side of the road when they were stopped.
She's evil.
She's bad.
I really wanted Teddy to get his revenge because,
Yeah,
I thought Teddy was cool.
I thought he was going to show up.
Yeah.
On his own. I thought he was, magical and he was going to show up, but he does show up at the end of the movie in Ralph's car, and the little girl decides that had been her bear, and she had held it the whole time, and when she was in the house, the old people gave her a Punch doll, Punch and Judy, because her name is Judy, so the doll's name is Punch, so they'd be Punch and Judy. And so she had been all through the house during the night, the day and the night, and the next day she had been carrying Punch.
Hey, Safi.
Well, not the next day. The next day, Punch was now that had been destroyed.
Hey, Safi.
And it was now a new Punch. Her dad.
Hey, Safi.
What?
Why did they call Hawaiian Punch Hawaiian Punch?
I don't know.
Say Hawaiian.
Hawaiian
Punch. That's what people did in elementary school.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Why'd you fall for that?
Well, I wanted to see what would happen because I remember, kind of vaguely remember that. So anyway, the doll, when they get to go, Ralph and the little girl go. They're going to go to her mother's in Boston, and they pay for his ticket, and hers and their airfare. I don't know where they are exactly.
It will be a very strange story because they're going to show up at the mom's house, and how does she even know where her mom lives? Like, does she know the address, or are they going to have to look her up?
I don't know. That's a good question because she is very young, but she should know.
Because when they go there, the fucking guy's he's going to have to be like, your daughter was with her other parents, and they got stranded and had to stay at this old house, and then I just so happened to show up there too, but then the parents left, and so the old people helped me come here to bring her to you.
Yeah.
That is gonna sound really, really bizarre. Even without the supernatural stuff, it is a strange story. This strange guy is taking this girl to her mother. It is kind of weird. You have to wonder, is the mom gonna be she's probably gonna be really upset at the quote unquote parents.
Well, they basically, of course, we know what happened to them. They got changed into dolls, but that older man told them that, told the little girl that he had a letter the guy had supposedly written, saying that they were going to go to another country, they wanted to leave, and she could go back to her mother's or stay there or something, both. And then he even had written a letter about the girls, saying that he had taken them to the airport or something. So it was they had all gone, but they don't know they've been changed. They don't know.
Well, but didn't they throw that note in the fire?
Yeah, they did. They got rid of it right away.
So they can't even fucking show that note to the mom.
Yeah.
So
but, the little girl likes the guy a lot. It wasn't an unhealthy thing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And
Sean Astin.
So I think but she'd probably be, what the hell's going on with my ex-husband?
Yeah,
and his wife.
To me, he was very reminiscent of the father in Hellraiser. He was that level of evil to me.
Well, she had a lot of money, and apparently he married her for her money. That's what it looked like.
My favorite part was actually the end of the movie, where she hugs the doll that's her dad, and she doesn't even know that it's her dad. I thought that was really cool.
He talked to her, though. He called her by a nickname that he called her when he was alive, and her dad.
That just made it even better because, it was very creepy, And there are a couple of questions with that. Like, what do these dolls do? Like, are these dolls just going to be there and just... Like, what happens next for the parents and the two girls? Like, are they initiated into this doll gang or something? Or are they just allowed to do as they please at this house?
Yeah, and at the end, and I wanted to see, because he made this remark about if you're not a good person, you're going to be changed into a doll. And he's not really the person doing the changing, it just happens. And but they did get killed. The dolls killed them, so I don't know if it's because of they do it, but it doesn't matter. But they had them lined up. They had the father, the stepmother, but they were little doll representations of them. But of course, the father, I told you, he'd been changed into a Punch doll, so his nose was really big. If you've ever seen a Punch puppet, he looked like a Punch puppet. But then he had the pajamas, a miniature version of the pajamas he was wearing when he got killed. And then the stepmother always wore, she's like Nora Desmond, if you know what I'm talking about. That actress, I think she was a silent screen actress they always show, and she had that scarf thing wrapped around her head like a turban, and
to me she looks like a shrimp.
So she had the little doll with the tiny little towel thing on her head, and then you have the two girls, they're British, and so they are dressed exactly, because when the movie came out in 1987, so they made it in 86. We were in London at that time, and they were dressed exactly like they would be dressed there at that time. All the clothes and their hair and everything.
Yeah, you liked looking at their clothes. You were just sad you didn't get to see what was underneath the clothes.
Oh, for heaven's sakes! Actually, if you remember when Madonna was singing in the 80s, and she was in this movie, Desperately Seeking Susan, they were dressed in that way. And it's really hard to describe. But, their hair is all, has color on it. And now that's like a thing for all kinds of people.
For very, very weird, insane people who need to be looked at.
Nah, it's just I think it's a fad.
Colored hair is a big red flag.
I don't care for it, but it doesn't matter.
Colored hair and nose rings; those are the two big red flags.
It doesn't bother me. I don't care for it, but I think it's just a fad, and
Kasafi,
it won't last forever. I can't imagine they're going to be my age and have a nose ring.
What actor or actress can you think of that's really good, has colored hair and or a nose ring? What actor or actress can you think of?
Right I don't know.
None of them.
I don't think so. I don't think any of them
Fuck
do.
that.
Yeah.
Even the bad ones, like fucking Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence doesn't have no nose ring.
Well, she's a mother. She just had a kid. Maybe has something. But I can't see her doing that anyway. Anyway.
She doesn't have colored hair like a weirdo. She's got normal hair.
Yeah, she has regular hair. I don't know. I saw her in some kind of video for a trailer for some movie that came out several months ago. I didn't pay it because I don't really watch trailers, and so I didn't really watch it. So, but I saw it was her. She said something really nasty to a little kid, and I didn't care for that either. So.
You're gonna watch it, so have fun with that.
Why is that?
Because it might be a good movie.
I doubt it. Well, everybody said it was, but I don't know what that means. Everybody says a lot of things are good, and they're not that good.
I mean, I can't think of a single actor or actress with colored hair or a nose ring that's any good. Like, seriously. Like, no one.
I just feel like it's a
You know
way
why?
for people to decorate themselves.
You know why? Because the ones who have those things are pieces of trash.
Nah, I don't agree with that.
Like, the only people I can think of are the former males who directed The Matrix, who both transitioned, and both of them have colored
Really?
hair. Yeah, both of them have colored hair, and you know, they're good directors, kind of.
They did good. Wow.
Kind of.
So anyway, back to the movie. I believe it was good. It's a very nice movie to watch.
It was really good. I would personally. It's too bad that it's been so long that they couldn't just make like a sequel. I would like to see a remake, like a mean-spirited remake with you know, better effects. And by better effects, I don't mean the shitty Puppet Master effects where it's just all computer generated bullshit. I mean, like, maybe the same people who made the Puppet Master fan film. It would be really cool if they made a Dolls fan film and made like a cool movie to go along with this, because I felt like as soon as it was over, I was like, I'd like to see another group of people come to this house. Like, it sucks that there's not a second one or something, because it was so good, and it really felt like, you know, it's one of those movies where it's rightly underrated. Like, there's a lot of movies that people say are underrated and they're really not. Like, even bad movies. Like, there's ones from recent years, like, you know, there's a lot of losers who say that Batman v Superman is underrated.
Oh,
and it's a masterpiece and shit.
Crap.
And, you know, there's movies like that where it's like, no, those movies suck, or they're just not that good. This is one of those ones where I feel like it actually is underrated.
Well, that's too bad. And they can't really... It's too bad they didn't make a sequel right after, because the old man...
he's dead.
He's dead. He was 93 when he died.
He also played the Puppet Master guy in multiple sequels.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool that he did this movie too. That was cool.
He's been in other scary movies, and all the rest of them, I don't know, but you know, you just get older, you change, and it just isn't the same.
No, I would like to see Sean Astin, the real Sean Astin, play the doll maker guy. And I would like to see that other guy play like the dad or something funny like that.
I don't know.
And then
They did do really good casting.
Yeah, it was a really good cast.
All the characters I thought were really well cast.
Way better than Arcade.
That's unusual. Very unusual for a full moon movie.
Well, they could actually act, unlike the girl in Arcade who is like...
Well, she did better than the other movie, I thought.
Yeah, but she's still like...
She's not that great.
She's just there for her looks.
Yeah, so anyway, what did you give this movie, Marco?
You go first, because I have to think about... I'm trying to think of what would be the best meal to eat on Halloween, because there's not really a standard meal that everyone eats, because there's a lot of people who don't take it as seriously because of all the Christian propaganda against it, all the, you know, this holiday is evil, wah! You know, and especially where we live, there's all these people, they don't put up any decorations, but then they have all these Christmas decorations, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's a fucking fun holiday, you fucking losers. Like, put up some fucking Halloween decorations and enjoy the fucking holiday. I just don't know, like, what is the standard Halloween meal? So you give your rating first.
Well, I'll just give it we have like once a week, and that would be a fish sandwich and a Coke and fries.
That's terrible.
McDonald's.
McDonald's meal?
Yeah, it's a good meal.
Oh.
I mean, it's been good. It wasn't good before. I hope I said fish sandwich with the cheese and the tartar sauce.
Who's the fish sandwich? That one of the British girls?
I don't know. I don't know. But I could give it a KFC meal, but I've done that before, so I'm not going to do that. But we haven't been there in a while, but that's what I would give it, because it's really, I thought it was very more than satisfactory and very filling, meaning it wasn't drawn out, or
Yeah.
it moved right along. And like I said, I think it only took place a day and a night and the next day. I think that was it. And so it was, but it had a lot in it. And the cast was good. I was impressed with that, because boy, that can get really rare, where they just pick out all the cast is really, that's what one thing I liked about Grimm. They had an excellent casting person. Well, they had an excellent casting for this movie too, I thought.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Go ahead.
As I said, this is the perfect movie to watch on Halloween. But what's the perfect meal to have on Halloween? Well, I am going to go out on a limb and declare officially the perfect meal to have on Halloween is lasagna. Because it's a nice meal that you want to have it when it's not too cold out or it's not too hot out.
Mm-hmm.
You have the layers of cheese and the noodle things and the meat, and it's a perfect, simple but really, really filling. Oh, wait a second, I gave that to Subspecies too. I give this movie lasagna still, but with the caveat. So you have that for dinner, and I would say the perfect drink on Halloween would be like a soda, because I don't really drink a lot of soda at all.
Probably an orange soda.
Yeah, it'd be great with like an orange soda, like last year.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, like last year they had the Mountain Dew Voodoo, which was orange flavor, with lasagna. And then for dessert, on Halloween, it's really fun to just eat a bunch of different types of candy. And so my favorites are like Milky Way, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, gummy worms, candy corn, Tootsie Pops, and that's pretty much it. And I guess Junior Mints. And so all of that stuff. So this is like the perfect Halloween meal. All that stuff, and then all the fucking candy you want. And you can tell all the people who say Halloween is based off of Satanism. You can tell all those people to take a bunch of fucking some of the worst Halloween candy, like Dubba Bubba, bubblegum shit, and fucking fruit snacks, like the squares who give out fruit snacks, and the toothbrushes. Tell them to take all that stuff and shove it up, you know what. Well, I enjoy my Halloween candy, aka Dolls,
That only happens
aka
once a year.
the best movie ever. Just kidding. Well, it is up there. Like, I would say it would be interesting to think about, like, is this movie better than all the Chucky movies?
Well,
Because
no, Chucky's is unique in its own way, but it is, a lot of the Chucky movies aren't very good.
yeah, like the second one, the fourth, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, the show.
And they can get real violent, too. And you only have to be, in order to be good, you don't have to necessarily be overly violent. It's not necessary. You can have good horror without having a lot of violence.
And you can also have good horror with a lot of violence, as Sophie will see with Saw. The first
God.
Saw.
Oh, God.
She's going to have to watch the whole series.
Oh, God. Talk about violent. It's just like slathering with violence. It's like thick layer of peanut butter.
I'd highly recommend Dolls.
Yeah, I would too. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to become one of our subscribers. You're more than welcome to join us and to comment about the movie. And do you have any recommendations? Because we've had a few good surprises this year of movies that we picked to watch. And
well, especially
nice.
For full moon.
Right.
Because usually with full moon movies, we have like eight bad movies and 2 good movies.
Well, last year, I remember, really, it was not good.
Well, there was the supermarket one that was really good, and there was Vampire Journals, and I think that's it. Like, everything else sucked.
Yeah. So, next up is
Don't Feed the Weirdo.
Don't Feed the Weirdo. That's a Slappy World book. And then, of course, Master Chef, which I think is 2 episodes, unfortunately.
Gross.
Which really we do not look forward to. Ugh. Just thinking about it wears me out. Because, I mean, it's just so, with the improvement thing, it just, compared to years past, where you've seen somebody, and it doesn't matter whether they've been male or female, they started out a certain way, and they might have made a mistake along the way, but they would learn from their mistakes, and they get better and better, and it seems like they would be motivated.
That has not happened this time.
No.
Instead, they just sent all the good cooks home. Like last week with that girl from Northeast.
Yeah. She was motivated, and she was doing really well. It's just terrible. Ugh. So anyway, goodbye everybody.
Hi!